Hi, I'm Jeanette DePatty.
And I'm Reagan Chastain. We're the creators of the Body Love Obstacle Course. And to start off with, we just want to thank you so much for all of the great comments and questions you left on the last video.
We were floored by all of the love that you sent our way and by the super smart questions you asked. In this video, we're going to tell you about your last diet ever, and we're going to share a technique with you that has helped thousands of our students instantly feel just a little bit better about themselves.
Now, we're going to cover a lot of material and we're going to go pretty fast. So we created a PDF for you and we recommend that you download it. It's at the bottom of the page. So just print it out and then you can follow along.
Now, if you haven't already watched our first video, we're going to stop you right here and suggest that you do that first. There's a lot of great information in there, and you're really going to get the most out of this program if you watch the videos in order. There's a link at the top of the page, so go ahead and check that out. I promise we'll be here when you get back.
Seriously, it's cool. We'll wait. Now, in the last video, which you've now watched, we talked about how the Body Love Obstacle Course, or Bloc, is helping people stop putting their lives on hold and start living the lives of their dreams in the bodies that they have right now. We also taught you about a couple non-starter obstacles that can stop you in your tracks and that will kill your progress.
And I shared my story about how I stopped trying to have the perfect body and started living my life as if my body were already perfect. I talked about how hating my body was negatively affecting every area of my life: my career, my business, my mental, physical, and spiritual health, and my relationship with my husband. I shared about how this decision to live my life as if my body were already perfect changed everything. It led to astonishing changes in my life, from a glamorous career walking the red carpet with celebrities like Joss Whedon and Helen Mirren as a Hollywood writer and producer, to national television appearances with Dr. Drew and Katie Couric, and to the very most important things: a happier life and a better relationship with my husband and my family. Ultimately, Reagan and I have amassed a group of powerful tools that have helped thousands of people find more peace with their bodies and live stronger, better, and more fulfilling lives. These tools have been used by people of all types: men and women, secretaries and cooks, bank presidents, and teachers. We've helped celebrities, professors, soccer moms, and professional athletes. We've helped thousands of people to remove the body love barriers that were keeping them from finding success in work, love in lives, and joy and peace within their families. That's what this video is about: helping you love your body so you can enjoy a successful, peaceful, happy, and fulfilling life.
We also understand that this is not easy. Body hatred didn't grow in a vacuum. We live in a world where people are scorned for not looking like fictionalized, photoshopped celebrity versions of themselves. We live in a world where companies actively try to strip us of our self-esteem and then try to sell it back to us at a profit.
You know, there's no question that body love is about a lot more than posting a selfie and saying you feel beautiful. It's about girding your loins and strengthening your will against an industry and an economy bent on making you feel bad enough to buy more stuff. It's about understanding when the powers that be are manipulating your feelings about your body and yourself so that they can control you in subtle and not so subtle ways.
Now, we're going to be talking with you in this video about learning to recognize this oppression as a real force in your life, and also learning how to deal with it. But we both know this is hard work. At least it was for me. Now, I didn't always love my body. I didn't always believe in its inherent worth. In fact, my story begins deeply rooted in body hatred and shame. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was doing yet another weight loss program prescribed by my doctor. I was eating a seriously restricted diet and I was still gaining weight. So I went into the center and I told him I was going to quit. And they made me go into a small office with a big poster about not quitting. Literally the kitten on a rope that says, "Hang in there, baby." Literally. And a woman came in with a binder full of stock images of fat women. And she said, "Now, you may not know it, but this is what you look like. And these women are gonna die alone eating bonbons in front of the television. Is that what you want for your life? And aren't you tired of hating your body?" And I thought, that's what I look like? Now, at the time, I thought I looked way worse than those women. So it was actually my first inkling that maybe I didn't have to hate my body. And I grew up in rural America, so I didn't really know what bonbons were, so that whole thing kind of went over my head. But the last thing she said really hit me. I was tired of hating my body. I was exhausted from hating my body. I have been hating my body like it was a job, like I was getting paid for it. And it hadn't made me happier, and it hadn't made me healthier, and it hadn't made me thinner. It just made me tired and miserable and sitting in a room with a picture of a kitten on a rope, paying someone to tell me to hate my body. Something had to give. Something had to change. I decided right then and there I was going to fix my relationship with my body. I was going to learn to love the body that I had. The problem was I had literally no idea how to do that. So I started small. I walked out of the clinic and told them to cancel my membership. And sitting in my car in the parking lot, flooded with the relief of someone who had been trapped on a roller coaster for years and was finally allowed to get off, I started thinking things through. First and foremost, I realized that I lived in a society that stigmatized my fat body, that wasn't built for people my size. And I acknowledged that the problem wasn't with my body, but with the way I was treated because of my body. I acknowledged that while that shouldn't happen and it wasn't my fault, it had become my problem, and I was going to have to do something about it if I wanted things to change. I realized that I had spent so much time hating my body for not looking like a Photoshop picture of some celebrity that I hadn't had any gratitude for everything my body did for me. So I made a list of everything I could think of that my body does, and I got granular: breathing, blinking, heartbeat, waste management. And I started to really become conscious of the thoughts I had about my body, and I started to interrupt the negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. And that little exercise really changed everything for me. The more gratitude I had for my body, the more I thought of it as a friend. The more I thought of my body as a friend, the less willing I was to buy into negative beliefs I was hearing from society about my body. Now, it wasn't a smooth journey. At the time, I didn't know about the size acceptance and health at every size communities, so I was getting through my body love obstacle course without a map, through trial and error. And there were lots of trials and there were lots of errors. When I started, I just wanted things to get better with my relationship with my body. And through those humble beginnings of body love, they did. It was scary, but I pushed through because I really wanted my life to change. So through more research and more trial and error, I started to make shifts. I started to change my relationships with food, movement, and my body. It felt amazing. On my old days on the diet roller coaster, I actually couldn't even have imagined that it would feel this way. I couldn't think of it getting this much better on the path to body love. And so now I do work that I'm passionate about, and I help other people take the same path that I took without all the trials and errors that I made. I get to teach others to do what I did. But I can give them a map, and I can save them from the research and the trials and the errors that slowed me down. I get the distinct joy of watching people use the lessons I learned to create the lives they want. Now, if you're anything like me, it seems a little bit scary. But I can tell you that life on the other side is so worth the risk of taking the leap. And that once you take that leap, you'll find it's not really that scary at all.
I really love listening to Reagan's story. Just like me, she didn't wake up one day and decide to turn her beliefs about the weight loss industry upside down. She came to the knowledge little by little. She started with an enormous amount of research trying to find the magic diet or weight loss program that would make her and keep her a whole lot thinner and would, by proxy, make her life perfect. But when she was honest about what she found, she came to a few simple truths: that diets don't work, and that most of the people who attempt intentional weight loss won't succeed long term. In fact, a whole lot of them will find that in their attempt to make their body smaller, they end up a little bigger than when they started.
Accepting this truth, that there's just no magic formula that will allow you to look like a Photoshop picture of a model, can be difficult to swallow. After all, we've been taught that we can't be healthy or happy or loved unless we look like a runway-ready, perfectly coiffed, Photoshopped, enhanced version of ourselves. Letting go of that idea can be challenging. So we have a system that can help you get a jump start to overcome the obstacles presented by media and advertising, obstacles that are designed to make us feel bad about ourselves and to convince us to put our lives on hold.
You might be able to come to a place of loving your body on your own. Reagan and I both did, but you don't have to. With our system, you can learn from our trial and error, and you can learn a lot faster. And let's face it, loving your body is something you want to get started on right away. After all, the life of your dreams is waiting for you.
There's just no reason to stay in that holding pattern, waiting to feel worthy of the life of your dreams. And you don't have to do this alone. Join us and thousands of men and women throughout the world who have stopped waiting around for the life they want and have instead actually started living it. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't willing to grow. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world to live a life that is bigger and bolder. Think about it. Where do you want to be a year from now or 3 years from now? What can you imagine for yourself? How can you imagine making a difference in the lives of people around you? Seriously, just take a minute and think about what you want to be experiencing every day in 6 months or a year or 3 years. I heard a saying that said the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and the second best time is now. So our plan is to help you plant that tree, to help you share yourself with the world in a powerful and authentic way. And we hope you ultimately will join us in the Body Love Obstacle Course. But no matter what, we want you to understand that when you make the decision to put aside fears of what other people might be thinking about you, when you decide to create your own image and your own goals for yourself rather than just adopting some impossible beauty standard, your life will change forever.
Which brings you to the last and only diet we're ever going to recommend for you. We call it the media diet, and the idea behind it is pretty simple. You spend a few days or even weeks avoiding commercial television or cable as much as possible. Don't read any fashion magazines unless they're body positive ones. Don't even look at newspapers or billboards if you can help it. Instead, spend at least 20 minutes each day and write about what it feels like to be off the body hatred grid. How does it make your life different, and how does it feel?
If you're like me, you don't realize what a profoundly negative effect these media has on your life and your joy until you're free of it for a while. I certainly didn't. At one point, I became curious about just how many negative messages I get about my body. So I did an experiment and I was stunned to find that I get about 386,170 negative messages about my body every year.
It's astonishing just how much body hatred crap we wade through every day. The media diet can be a breath of fresh air, and it can free up some time to engage in other body love exercises. One such exercise that Reagan has developed is a foolproof method to help you feel at least a little better about your body right now, and it's called the Grateful Body Exercise.
Now, as I talked about when I told you my backstory, this exercise was really important in the beginning of my journey to body love. It's pretty simple. Here's how it works. First thing you're gonna do is think about how we've been taught to see our own beauty. It sounds like a great idea, but it can be really hard to get our head around what that means. And it can force us into constructs about beauty that aren't helpful, and as our bodies change, it can set us way back in our journey. So instead, we can start with having gratitude for our bodies for all the things they do for us. Now, I'm telling you, this is a simple exercise, but it is powerful. It changed my life. So you're gonna start by making a list of everything you can think of that your body does for you. Things like blinking, breathing and heartbeat to more complicated things like smiling, waving, hugging, rolling your wheelchair. Take some time with this. This should be a really long list. Next, start to become conscious of the negative thoughts you have about your body and the negative messages you get about your body. And each time, replace the negativity with gratitude for something, anything from the list. Now, here's the key. You do not have to do all the big scary stuff at once. If there's a body part you currently don't like, you don't have to just suddenly start loving it. You can just replace your negative thoughts about that body part with gratitude for something else. So maybe you think, oh, I don't like this body part, but then you interrupt yourself and you think, wait, body, thank you for breathing. You are totally rocking breathing. I really appreciate it. Breathing being super important. Thank you for breathing. Or if you're dealing with an illness or a disability that you find is getting in the way of your body love, you don't have to pretend that it doesn't exist, or that it's not hard, or that it doesn't suck. You can just try to find things about your body that you can appreciate, and with the other things, you can try to make it about you and your body against a problem, rather than making it about you against your body.
The beauty of the Grateful Body exercise is that it can be a powerful ally in body love in a world that is designed to crush your relationship with your physical self.
But even if you're feeling pretty good about this exercise and pretty good about yourself, you might still have a few major questions that are getting in the way of being fully on board with the idea of a body love journey. I certainly did when I started my own journey.
Oh, me too. There's so many questions, and for me, one big question was, if I'm giving up on having the perfect body, if I'm giving up on having a body that fits in this very narrow channel, am I giving up on myself? Am I giving up on my health?
Oh, health, yeah. Everywhere you look, you will find someone who's only too eager to tell you that you can't prioritize your health and love your body at the same time. But look, here's the thing. Think of a gift that you got that you didn't really like. We've all gotten kind of a crap gift at one time or another. Now, did you take excellent care of it? Did you display it proudly in your home? Probably not, because we don't take care of things that we hate, and we don't show off things that we hate, and that includes our bodies. The very best platform to make decisions about our health is a platform of body love.
And luckily, there's lots of ways to prioritize and focus on health in the body you have right now. There's a significant number of studies that indicate that engaging in healthy behavior like eating well, getting enough sleep, not smoking or doing drugs or too much alcohol, getting lots of exercise, having strong social networks, and managing stress all help you significantly increase the odds of better health, regardless of whether those behaviors help you lose any weight. You'll always run across a few people who say, well, if telling people that they have horrible bodies that are ugly gets them to exercise and gets them to eat well, why shouldn't we do that?
Well, to answer that question, let's start once again by looking at the actual research. And by the way, there are links to a lot of these studies on the PDF at the bottom of this page. So if you don't need it for taking notes, you still might want to save the PDF just to have the research around. So again, getting back to the studies, what they show is that shaming people does not lead to healthier behavior. In fact, shaming people about their bodies is likely to lead to less healthy and even downright reckless behavior. It turns out if we tell people to hate their bodies and that their bodies are unworthy of care, there's a tendency that they will believe us and believe their bodies are not worthy of care and so not take care of them. So shaming someone about their health is more likely to hurt than help.
In fact, this shame, along with metabolic factors, might be one of the reasons why so many people who try to lose weight end up a little bigger than when they start. And this shame, in and of itself, presents a health risk to individuals, whether that shame is coming from a doctor, a friend, or a coworker. Those people who are body shamed end up being sicker than those who have not been body shamed, regardless of body size.
There's so much more that we can say about body shaming, and we've already covered a lot in this video. So now actually let's take a moment to just take a deep breath. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to do it all. This video is just about getting you started with some options for the path to body love and living the life that you want. Now we want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell us, Where are you on your journey? And which of these techniques do you think you might start out with?
And if you found some value in this video, please share it with at least 3 people you know. Don't keep all this good stuff to yourself. These techniques can absolutely start to change the lives of people you know and love right away. It's not just about getting you out of a holding pattern, it's about getting your friends and family up and going and living the life of their dreams too. Now I want to share with you a little bit about what we're going to cover in the next video, and I think you're really going to love it. We're going to talk about some of the successes that people have experienced with our system, and we're also going to be talking about your inner critic. We're going to find it, we're going to learn to silence it, or even train it to speak with you a little differently.
And we'll share even more information about the power that overcoming body love obstacles can have in your life. But first, hit the like button, because everybody likes likes. And then leave a comment for us and tell us, again, which of these you're going to use and how you're going to start in your life. And remember, when we ask you, where do you see yourself 1 year or 3 years from now? We would love to hear those dreams as well. So leave something for us in the comment section, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.